we do with our index and thumb, she does so with her first and second fingers, kind of like a pair of tongs. Now, May's feet look like little balled up fists. This is just another adaptation to life in the trees. It's a lot better for growing onto branches and flat like ours would be. May also has what's known as prehensile lips. And this means she has a lot of dexterity and control with those lips, so she can actually pick and peel fruit entirely using her mouth. This allows her to keep her limbs on the branches at all times just for a better support system. Now, it's hard to tell underneath all that hair, but May does have ears just like we do. I'll have her show them off for you in just a moment. With all the same crazy twists and turns and all the same working mechanisms. They also have individual fingerprints like humans do, and they have the same number of hairs on their body. Now, orangutan's hair is a lot thicker and a lot darker than human hair, but it is the same amount of hair and in the same density at a lot of locations. Now, unfortunately, orangutans are very, very endangered. So much so that the Sumatran species is thought to be the first species of great apes to go extinct in the wild in as little as just 2 years. This is because of the illegal pet trade, the bushmeat trade, but their biggest threat is actually the palm oil industry. Now, palm oil is everywhere. It's in all kinds of food, cosmetics, it's in makeups, lotions, ice cream, it's even in Nutella. But it's killing their habitat at a rate of about 300 football fields per hour because it grows so feverishly there. Now, one thing you guys can do to help is visit the Roundtable for Sustainable Palm Oil. It gives you a list of products that use palm oil, but don't harm their habitat to get to it. Now, if I can get May to come back across the enclosure with me. Come on, May. You're going to notice that she moves very, very slowly and using all 4 of her limbs. This is because orangutans are the largest arboreal animal you can find, so they're very careful to test out each and every branch before they actually go ahead and put their weight onto it. But they can move very quickly when need be. Now, looking at May's enclosure, you might notice there's a lot of different caves in it. That middle one between the 2 swings that curves back, well, that one leads to her night house, and this is where we do a lot of our interactions with May. We work very closely with her as well as with our gorilla king, but it's always through bars. As they're still wild animals, we got to be a little careful with them. But some of May's favorite activities include playing with sidewalk chalk, blowing bubbles. She is a big fan of listening to music as well. May, you want to go on your swing? You want to go on your swing, honey? Oh. Now, we are about to go down to meet our gorilla king, but before we do, I want to ask you guys to please not throw anything into May's enclosure, food or otherwise. This is for a couple reasons. The first being that we keep May on a very strict diet. We like to monitor her weight very carefully. But the second and more important reason is that we share about 97% of our DNA with these guys. So any germs that we have can get passed right down to May. She has gotten very sick from guests in the past, so please do not throw anything into her exhibit. Now, May, what are you dying to tell everybody? I love you. Thank you, May. All right, watch out, honey. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? 32. All right, well, King is down this ramp over here that curves to the left. You guys are going to reach a gate, and I'll be down in just a moment to open it up. Well, we don't have much official sign language, you know. Yeah, well, it's more like associated with the manager where our dogs are. So we don't do a whole lot of like sign language or kind of figuring and feeling each other out, but generally knows what's going on. He generally has a pretty good idea of what's going on. He's probably making his way. There he is. Oh my God.
Thank you.
How old is King?
He is old. He's about 48.
48.
in captivity, yeah. Just because we, keep such a close eye on them, we got health care for them, compared to just in the wild where, it's cutthroat. Okay, come in the front.
Vicious.
What are you stopping for?
He's looking aggressive for us.
Alright, you guys, welcome to Cameroon Jungle. My name is still Melanie, but this time we are talking about this very handsome gorilla sitting here named King. Now, throughout the show, you're going to see me throwing King these paper bags. These paper bags do have food in them. The reason we got to wrap his food in paper bags is, well, King's a little picky about the dirt. King does not like his food to touch the dirt. King will not eat his food if it does. So we wrap it in paper bags to keep it to King's very high standard of life. Now, King is a western lowland gorilla. This is one of the 4 subspecies of gorillas, the other 3 being the eastern lowland, which are the largest, the mountain gorillas, made famous by Diane Fossey's Gorillas in the Mist, and then there are the most recently discovered cross-river gorillas. Now, for a while, people confuse these with the western lowlands, but you can tell that King is a western lowland because the top of his head is completely brown in color. Other subspecies have little patches of brown here or there, but none of them have that all-brown head just like King does. Now, western lowlands are also the only subspecies of gorillas you'll find in captivity in the United States. Now, I mentioned his head. A lot of people do comment on its very large size. This is not his brain. Their brain is about 1/3 the size of a human brain. What you're seeing up there is called the sagittal crest, and that's a whole lot of bone and muscle tissue, all that connects down to their jaw, giving them that very powerful bite they're so known for. Now, the sagittal crest is an easy way to tell males and females apart, as the females have a much smaller one than what you see on King. Now, King is 48 years old, and this does make him a very old gorilla. In the wild, they live to about 45, but because he's here in captivity and we have health care for him, well, we're hoping to see him to his mid, maybe even upper 50s. King stands at about 5 foot 2 inches tall, weighs about 400 pounds, has the strength of 6 to 10 grown men, but he has the mental capacity of more like a 3-year-old compared to that of May. Those other qualities, what you can imagine as temper tantrums, are quite the scene to watch. Now, King is also referred to as a silverback gorilla. A lot of people think this is another subspecies, but it's actually just a sign of maturity in males. All males, when they reach the age of about 10 to 12 years old, they get silver starting up on their shoulders, and with age it moves down through their body. Well, King, being the old man that he has more of a pair of silver pants. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at him? Ah!
No.
Oh.
Turn around.
King Kong.
King Kong.
So good.
Now, you guys have probably seen a lot of movies depicting gorillas. They're often portrayed as very mean and very vicious. This is likely because at one time we did think they were carnivores due to their large canines, but all gorillas are actually vegetarians. King can eat up to 65 pounds of vegetation in a single day, and he does have his favorites. He's a big fan of green beans, he likes grapes a lot, carrots, but his all-time favorite are sweet potatoes. This man loves his sweet potatoes. Now, he does like a couple other interesting things like yogurt as well as unsweetened iced tea, and I do have a bottle of that for him today. Good? Funny face!
He's good. Well behaved.
Watch out! Now, King is very particular about his iced tea. He likes to give it a multitude of testers to make sure it is made just to his liking. Now, if it is not, King will dump it out on the ground in front of us. He will look right at me while he does, so I'm very clear I have done him wrong today. He's just going for it.
Good iced tea.
Now, we got King in Monkey Jungle about 38 years ago at the age of 10 years old. We got him from a circus, and while we don't know a lot about his life in the circus, one thing we do know is they removed all of his front teeth. Now, fortunately, this does not affect his ability to eat. Being a vegetarian, he can grind up everything with his back molars, just like you or I would. This does, however, affect his ability to protect himself, as well as to be paired with another gorilla. I mentioned that orangutans are naturally very solitary. Well, gorillas are very social creatures, but if we tried to put him with another male, that male would see him as an easy target and try to put him at the bottom of the totem pole. We did at one time try with a female, but unfortunately she did reject King, likely because without those teeth, he didn't seem like a suitable protector for her offspring. Now, that being said, I don't want you guys thinking King is lonely by any means. King has been raised his whole life by humans, so he's very accustomed to us, even more so than other gorillas. And me, or another trainer, is here 7 days a week, 8 hours a day at King's beck and call. Now let's go ahead and see another behavior from him.
Do what?
Juggle!
Sure, as long as it doesn't mean death for me. Then again, I'm pretty sure humans are like trained lesser animals, less dangerous.
Where is it, King? Juggle!
No.
Juggle!
No.
King!
No. Got that.
Tell him there, isn't he? Oh, here he comes.
Juggle!
No.
There you go! There you go, big man.
Ma'am.
Now, believe me when I tell you that King is a very, very spoiled gorilla. So much so that in his night house where he rests, well, he has a heater, an air conditioner, even a TV and DVD player controlled by his special gorilla remote. Now, being at a 3-year-old mentality, a lot of his favorites are Disney movies. He's a big fan of Tarzan, The Lion King, he even watches Frozen. Now, even crazier than a gorilla watching Disney is that King loves the Ellen DeGeneres show. He is just about her biggest fan. We think this is probably because she's very upbeat, likes to play a lot of music, dance around a lot. He's just generally a great time for a gorilla to watch. Now, I don't want you guys thinking he just sits around watching TV all day either. King is a big fan of a lot of other activities, such as hide and seek, as well as finger painting. And you can actually check out some of his finger paintings in the gift shop. But for now, let's see if he'll show us what he learned on Ellen. Ah! Dance! Now, from time to time, King will use hand gestures to tell us what he's thinking, feeling, what he wants, etc. We never taught him American Sign Language, but over the years, King has taught us his own, King language, being that he uses the same gestures repetitively that always mean the same things. Now, we can also tell how he's feeling by some of his facial expressions, his body postures, even his grunts. If you hear King do a very low, deep rumble, well, that means King's a happy gorilla. He does that when he's having a good time. Now, let's take a look at one more behavior of his. As soon as he's done with that snack. Whenever you're ready, King, let me know.
No.
Recycle.
No.
Where did you put it? You guys see it? Because I don't even
You see the bottle? You see the bottle?
There you go. Oh.
He's gonna recycle.
Now, you guys may have noticed while King is walking around, he does so on his knuckles. We call this very appropriately knuckle walking. Now, they do this because their arms are a lot longer than their legs, and their pelvises aren't made to handle the stress of walking bipedally or on 2 legs like humans do. Now, they do walk on 2 legs for short periods of time. It's usually to impress a female or intimidate a male, but in King's case, well, he'll do it when it's raining because he doesn't like getting his hands all muddied up. Again, he's very picky about the dirt. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of his walking. Up. Walk. Sit. And take your bow, King. There you go.
Yay.
Let's give King a hearty round of applause for all of his hard work. Now that is King's end of show big bag. Inside that big bag is a bunch of celery, lettuce, what else is there? I think there's some papaya, orange, just a whole bunch of great stuff King's a big fan of. Now, you know, lately less and less, but he usually is pretty private with his big bag, because he likes to look through it all, make sure he's getting first cut of the goods before any of us little gorillas might come and take any from him. Now, not a lot of people get to work with King as it takes a long bonding process, but once you are bonded with him, you learn he's very loyal, and he's quite the comedian as well. Do you guys have any questions about him?
How old is he?
He's about 48. He's very old. He's very old.
Wow.
In captivity, mid, sometimes upper 50s. Yeah.
What are those pink marks between his belly and back?
The scratches? So yeah, he a little while ago, he got some very minor irritation all in that area. We don't know what started it. It might have been some ants out here or fungus, but since then he has just picked and scratched at those few spots and made them so much worse than they had to be. So we keep his fingernails short. We do keep the area clean. It's just tough to break the habit because once it scabs, it itches, and then it kind of continues on.
Okay.
Where does he sleep?
Where does he sleep? So he sleeps in, well, he takes naps sometimes in the tunnel or on this little, you know, stick nest mansion he's made for himself back there, but he sleeps at night in his night house, which is, that first door open is a long tunnel, and that connects to like a play area, and that play area connects to his night house. So that's where he sleeps.
Where was he born?
He was, I don't know actually where, I don't know if he was born, he spent the first 10 years of his life in a circus, so I don't know if he was born into it, or if the circus adopted him from somewhere, I'm not sure. He does like blankets. We give him lots of blankets at night because he likes to nest all of them, and he also likes to use them to cover if he goes to the bathroom. He likes to put it on top so he's not in it. So yeah, he likes to kind of smush them all up in there. Yeah.
Does he have a favorite toy?
A favorite toy? I'm trying to think of one that sticks out because a lot of his favorite things are more activities, like not as much a specific toy, because he'll get bored of toys really quickly. He tends to like more novelty toys. He does have this one that's kind of like a round, almost like frisbee thing that he loves to throw up and catch. It's actually what made me want to train him with the juggle command, because I was like, all you got to do is make it be a bottle instead, easy enough. But he also likes big leaves a lot. They're not really a toy, but that's how he plays hide and seek, is he covers himself, and then, like, you know, you got to pretend like you don't know where the whole gorilla right there is, and freak out when you find him, when he uncovers himself. So things like that he likes a lot, but specific toys, he doesn't have ones that really stand out to me as a favorite.
I ran out of questions.
No worries.
Is he a silverback gorilla?
He is a silverback gorilla.
They're very rare, aren't they?
Not really, no. It's actually just any male that reaches maturity is a silverback.
How many gorillas are left?
How many gorillas are
Not
left?
many, huh? Just a couple
In the
hundred?
wild.
God, I read this information the other day, too.
Well, let's see.
I know that the western lowlands are the most abundant of the 4 subspecies. I want to say there's about 22,000 of those left. I don't quote me on it though. I'm serving from memory here. But all right, I'll point you guys to your next presentation. It's in about 15 minutes at the Amazon rainforest. You can get there by taking any of these pathways back out, and it's your very first left you can make.
A mandrill. I'm zoomed in.
go down there. I forgot. I put you in there. Shit. The other food she's I put food in it. I can't get it. It's stuck. It's stuck. The raisin's stuck in it.
No!
I'm sorry, buddy. I got the food stuck in it. Okay, you got one.
cracking sometimes.
You can only go up to the side. Their side's a lot.
Alright.
We just came back.
I just said there was something that's stuck in the map.
Yeah. Yeah, because both sides are locked. We just came back.